Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today I would like to talk to you about something that we had a reveal in One Piece chapter 1055, which was last week's chapter. And I wanted to talk about it. I don't know if we're going to elaborate on it in the next chapter or not, but I wanted to get this out before chapter 1056 gets out just in case. And that is Wano, and more to the point, Wano underwater. So last chapter we had a big reveal about how there was an original Wano underneath proper Wano, like current everyday Wano, and actually like the reason why there's giant waterfalls and the weird cliffside is because around 800 years prior, giant walls were erected and basically the land of Wano filled with rainwater, and then they had to build a new home on top of the mountain that they lived near, which is kind of insane. Just gonna say that. But I wanted to talk about this because it's got a lot of implications, and there's a lot of stuff surrounding Pluton. And I recently made a video, I think it was last month, about what Pluton could be and how I not to spoil it, if you haven't seen it, go watch the video. But basically, I think it's a ship. But more importantly, I think that the Sunny is like the new Pluton. Now I don't know if we'll ever get to see the old Pluton, the original. But they do talk about it, and apparently it's buried deep beneath Wano, like as a whole, and that the only way that you can get to it effectively is if you bring down the walls around Wano, which would leave Wano proper basically defenseless against everyone around them, because right now the only thing that's really protecting them from the outside world is the giant walls and the waterfalls that surround them. Now there are a few things that I want to maybe talk about here. One, so obviously Pluton is buried underneath Wano, but is Pluton the cause of the walls? If you take down the walls, can Pluton? So Pluton is supposed to be a battleship of some sort, but that doesn't mean that it's just cannons, pew pew guns kind of thing. It might have just like how Poseidon is a person or a mermaid, but then Shirahoshi has magical powers and can like talk to the Sea Kings and whatnot, right? So there's something special about her other than the fact that she is just there, right? So clearly there's something special about Pluton, or at least the old Pluton, assuming Sunny actually is a new Pluton, which I believe. So the question is Pluton involved with the actual wall building itself, or what is that? And something while I was rereading some of this came to mind is, do these walls that surround Wano have anything to do with the red line? Because clearly that is not a natural occurrence. I don't think it is, but something occurred to make that, whether it's, I guess it could be volcanoes, but like, it just doesn't seem natural to have a straight wall that like, and then on top of that, that's where like Marie was, right? So it doesn't seem natural, and clearly the walls around Wano are not natural. So there has to be something going on here. So this is kind of a follow-up to Pluton to some degree. Does Pluton have the power to, maybe it's a battleship of some sort that has the power to affect the earth around it? Another thing to think about is, if it's not Pluton that created the walls and like is basically protecting itself, right? Maybe there's a devil fruit that controls Earth to such an immense degree, whether it's a Logia or a Paramecia. Maybe there's a god. Okay, so here's an idea just right off the top of my head. Luffy is the sun god, right? He has the human fruit model Nika, which is the sun god. Maybe there are different god-based devil fruits, honestly, it could. Okay, so I'm gonna split this into two things. One, it could have been a devil fruit user, maybe the last Joy Boy, whatever, that used the sun god Nika powers to build the walls, and basically it's just like, they put up walls around it to protect Pluton. That's one idea. But what if there are multiple devil fruits that have godly abilities, and this is the result of one, including the Grand Line, in which maybe there's an earth god devil fruit, whether it be a human devil fruit that has the earth god, blah blah blah. I wouldn't even begin to know what you would call it. But what if there's an earth god one, or I don't know. You could do literally any kind of element or idea. I just think it's super interesting. Now they make a point of saying that, like, oh, because it's not seawater, old Wano looks pretty good for what it is. It's been submerged in water for a long time. But I'm a little like, I guess it's the kind of thing where it's like, if you touched any of this stuff, it probably would fall apart immediately. I do think it's interesting. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. There's a whole thing about how Wano up top on the mountain, like the Wano that we've known, the Wano that we've been traversing, basically was towed together, and that all the little island bits that make up Wano proper basically were put together. And I think us finding out that there was an original normal island called Wano that had a giant mountain called Fuji, which is okay. I'm gonna get to that in a second. But I think it kind of adds context to the idea that, like, the people of Wano had to rebuild their home, right? So that kind of gives context to, they had to build effectively islands, or they had to like cut into the diagram that Oda drew kind of implies that they like built additional pieces to the mountain, or in order to like make it work. But I don't know how that works, but it adds context to them building Wano and towing these islands together to make a new Wano. Now I'm gonna throw something crazy at you guys. I made this comment in my review, and I don't know if I actually believe that this is the case, but there is a long-standing theory that One Piece, the world of One Piece, 800 years prior, was much more technologically advanced, much more modern, if you will. Because right now it's like, oh, it's very pirates, people using analog everything, carts. There's no, well, I don't think there's any cars. I don't think there's any cars. Either way, the point is, everything's basically all wood, and then the weird metal stuff that we see with like Frankie and robots and whatever, that's all kind of like, oh, that's weird. It's weird that those things exist in the One Piece world. So there's a long-standing theory that the world used to be very technologically advanced, and something happened, and then 1800 years later, here we are. Now, Oda is he's very particular about what he calls stuff. And it could simply be a callback to the fact that Wano is supposed to represent Japan as a whole. So it could just be that. It could be whatever. But what if the One Piece world is a corrupted world of like the real world? Like, it's like a post-apocalyptic world of our world. And it's like, oh, something bad happened, and now it's basically just the One Piece world. The only thing that gives me pause on this is the fact that Fire Force kind of did that to a degree. Now, granted, not exactly. Well, okay, actually, yeah, it kind of is. If you ever read Fire Force or watched, well, if you ever read Fire Force, you know that the Fire Force world is kind of a really weird one. It started out as a real life, like straight up whatever, and then a big calamity happened, and then there's the Fire Force like universe, and then another calamity occurs, in which case Shinra rebuilds the world, and then it ends up being Soul Eater's world. So I don't think that Oda would copy that. Even if he's been planning, I think he would maybe kind of come up with something different. But it's certainly something to think about. The fact that he called the mountain Fuji is something that like set like stuff up in my head, that thinking, wait a second, he's very particular about his wording. Would he call the mountain Fuji just because it's a representation of the real life Mount Fuji, or is he calling it because there's some kind of legitimate connection in the world of One Piece? Okay, so I just did a brief search, and I'm a little unsure of what exactly Fuji itself means. It seems to kind of mean a couple of different things, but something that I've seen come up twice on two different websites. And if anybody knows like proper, please comment below, because like let me know if I'm wrong and give some clarity here. but one direct translation involves of the word Fuji involves a cherry blossom tree with pale pink blossoms on a shrub. And so it's not a sakura tree necessarily, but maybe or it's like a shorter shrubby, like shrubby looking sakura kind of tree. It's not sakura though. But that kind of brings to mind. Okay, so first of all, of course, Wano is Japan, right? So the flower capital is constantly flowing with like sakura leaves all over the place, or petals, not leaves. But it's got a very pink vibe to it in that. However, there is also another land of very tall mountains that we have had a connection with sakura petals, and that is Drum Island. I don't know I think there's a theory somewhere down the line that somebody has done about how like something involving the One Piece involves cherry blossoms, or something involving that in some capacity. I think that we're looking at little hints and nods here with Wano and the mountain that they live near being called Fuji, and then there's like stuff from Drum Island, another island that involves giant towering mountains. I think there's something there. I don't have a full thought on that. Let me know if anybody's done any kind of theories on that, and let me know if I'm wrong about this, because I'm looking at this. I'm hoping that I didn't type the word in wrong, so I think I got it right. I just don't know if these like translations or these like explanations are wrong, because some of it had like, oh, silk, like some kind of like, not silk, but like some kind of fabric is made, whatever, all of that, I don't know. And then also inspiring and uplifting, which maybe could be it. I don't know. That's just what this website has. So lots of questions, lots of things to think about. I don't know. I haven't looked at any other theories about what the heck is going on as far as like old Wano is concerned. But I just thought it was an interesting topic to bring up. I wanted to kind of gauge other people's opinions on it. I just think it's really cool and interesting and weird, and it makes me wonder, like, what exactly is at Laugh Tale that would make Odin want to bring down the walls? Maybe Pluton. Maybe there's something else other than Pluton underneath everything that would require him to break the walls down. Maybe Pluton itself is not what we think it is. I don't know. These are the questions that we have. Maybe we'll get answers at some point. Probably not very soon, though. Let me know what you guys think down below, though. I would love to hear other people's opinions on what exactly is going on with Wano, old Wano. So let me know. I'd love to have a conversation down below. Also, if you enjoyed anything I had to say, make sure to leave a like. I would greatly appreciate it. It lets me know that you want to see more videos like this. And if you do want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell. That way you'll get all the notifications when I upload. I talk about One Piece, anime in general, Pokemon, all that kind of stuff. So if you want to see that stuff, make sure to subscribe. I will see you guys hopefully in a video very, very soon. Again, see you later.